What's going on, guys? John here with MachMotorsport, and I'm sitting beside my son Evan, and we're currently in his what is this, a 22 Jeep? 21 Jeep Wrangler. A little bit different than what you see on my like normal collection of cars. However, I had the Bronco for a bit, and when I got the Bronco, he kind of felt like he was missing out, and FOMO got the best of him. Broncos weren't available, so he got the next best thing, a Jeep Wrangler. But no, in all honesty, this Jeep's actually been, you know, it's been a pretty decent vehicle for you.
Yeah, it's been not bad. It's a huge improvement over the last generation. I would have never touched the JK generation. But once I came out with the JL, I started liking these things a little bit more. It was kind of one of those cars on my bucket list where I'm like, I just need to experience it once in my life, have that fun with it. But I knew getting into it, I wasn't going to have it very long at all.
Right, and I think that was something that we talked about even when we were looking at getting it.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why he even leased it, because he was pretty much like, hey, I'm going to do this for a bit, kind of as a transition vehicle. The timing was right, because it was COVID. They gave you a remarkable trade-in value for, he had a Civic Si, which he had some negative equity in, and, you know, he got a relatively good trade-in on that. And they gave him some pretty good money off on the Jeep. So all in all, it's really been a pretty decent transition vehicle for him. However, that's not the reason why we are doing this video. It's because we're on our way to pick up his new vehicle, which, from what I understand, you've had your name on since February.
Actually, I checked my messages, January 12th.
January 12th of this year. So basically, yeah, since January, he's kind of said, put his name in the hat for this vehicle, and you know, maybe you can guess by now what it might be, and judging on what I've owned and currently own, you might have an idea. But we are on our way to the dealership right now, just driving in traffic, heading there right now to basically finalize the paperwork and to pick up the vehicle. All right, so we're here, and we just pulled in the lot, and it's literally parked up front, and I fucking can't believe it, man. Oh shit, look at that. My god, does that look incredible? Oh man, that is looking absolutely amazing. Damn, proportions just look right in person. No kidding. All right, we're about to do the turnover, sign the paperwork, and we'll be right back. And here we are, right in front of the new 2023 Civic Type R. This thing is looking fantastic. I mean, just have a look at it here. Obviously, champ white, that's the way to go. Oh man, I have to admit, having had owned an FK8 previously, I really wasn't sure about the new body styling of the FL5, but now seeing it in person, this is a completely different vehicle. Looking at it in photos, the proportions just didn't look right to me, but now looking at in person, it's just a remarkable looking car. I'm really impressed with what they've done here, and it's a lot less, I would say it's a lot more subdued. It's a lot less ostentatious, as the FK8 was, you know, more boy racer. This is more the mature, kind of laid back version in terms of its aesthetic styling, which, I mean, in some respects is maybe not a bad thing. So anyway, here's the car. Let's have a look. Just want to point out sales guy extraordinaire here at Brantford Honda, Scott McCullough. I've worked for this dealership for years. Scott's been here for, I mean, he was, yeah, a little more than that. He was probably selling dinosaurs, but anyway, he's been really helpful in the whole transaction. My son is super happy. Evan is going to have a really good time with this car, and yeah, he's super pumped. But let's have a walk around. And there he is right there. What do you think of your new car?
Oh Man.
So I have to ask, man, seeing you have a car like this, I gotta ask, what do you do for a living? You work at the competitor?
OnlyFans.
Show us the inside of this car. Wow. I am really feeling that red carpet. I love that they left the plastic on the seats. Just have a quick look. Oh wow, that is nice. Very nice. These seats are so much nicer than my FK8. I have to admit, the FK8 had nice seats. This is a step above. Like, just even the finish and the bolstering,
Yeah.
just feels a lot nicer. Just the materials.
I loved the FK8 seats, but after seeing these in person, I'm like, these are phenomenal.
Yeah, they are much, much nicer.
There's like Alcantara here and here as well,
Yeah.
which is super nice.
Wow. Well, the sun is starting to go down. Are you done all your paperwork?
Yeah, basically just getting last few things.
We're going to wrap it up here, and we should be good to go very shortly. All right, we are in the car. We're ready to rock and roll here. This thing is beautiful. Like, these seats, they're just so well bolstered. They are just so much nicer than my FK8. I feel like this is definitely more refined than the FK8 in so many ways. But anyway, yeah, look at this. Look at this display. So cool. Yeah, this is really nice. What do you think?
Oh man, this is my first time. I came here to do the paperwork, and this is my first time sitting in it now, and I'm blown away by, like, the Type R and the headrests here.
Yeah.
Is so nice. The fit and finish, like the Alcantara everywhere in here, is super nice. Leather on the wheel, like, yeah, it's
just refined.
Yeah, the FK8 was nice, but this is like a next level up from that.
Yeah, exactly. This is the sort of level of refinement, and this is the one thing that I often said, and if you look at some of my previous videos, the one thing that I often said, or the criticism I had about my FK8, was that even though you're buying the top tier Civic and you're paying, like, you know, back then was low 40s here in Canada, and now resale they're upwards of 50. You know, you're buying the top tier, top model Civic, and your refinement and your fit and finish and everything is still very much a Civic. And that was a little disappointing, because when you're spending that kind of money on a Civic, you kind of expect that things are just going to be a little bit nicer. And yes, you know, obviously the Type R had its performance advantages, and, you know, it was, you know, the aesthetic changes and the suspension. I get that, but I just felt like the level of refinement wasn't there, and I felt that it, in some cases, unless you weren't buying it for the performance aspect, you really weren't getting a whole lot for your money. Whereas in this, they really have stepped up the level of quality in this car. The fit and finish, the materials, just everything is what you would expect in a $50,000 car. You sell Audis every day, so
Yeah.
you know, you comparing this to a $50,000 Audi, what do you think?
I would say this is probably on par.
Right.
On par with them, for sure.
Right. So an equal value Audi, this is more or less what you would expect. So
Yeah.
there once was a time where you bought German cars because German cars just offered that level of refinement that, you know, Japanese cars maybe didn't have in terms of the quality of materials. But end of the day, you know, we know Japanese cars are generally more reliable, but it's, you know, people bought German cars for a reason. And I feel like now, you know, and maybe the base trim Civic is, you know, fit and finish and the quality of materials is the same, but I can tell you, being in this Type R right now, this is really nice. So Cool.
Yeah,
Well,
it's unbelievable. I mean, like, I'm sitting here, I'm like blown away that this is actually a Civic. Like the fit and finish and the materials in here. Because yeah, it's a Type R, it's $50,000, but at the end of the day, it's built on a Civic platform. And,
right.
You know what I mean? So I'm like, yeah, Honda did a really good job with this. Like a really, really good job. I'm happy, and I'm excited to drive it to see what it's all about.
Well, I'm excited for you. Let's go on a drive. We can't rip it because it still needs to be broken in.
Yeah.
But we'll do a follow-up video with this thing ripping. But for now, we'll see what the driving is like. All right, so we've been driving it now for about 20 minutes, and initial impressions.
Unreal. Phenomenal.
Played around with the different modes, the different settings. I mean, it's obvious when you go from comfort. Comfort is definitely your everyday driver mode, and then you've got sport, which obviously when you're feeling, reminiscent of my FK8, when you're feeling, a little more lively, when you want the car to be a little more responsive, the sports setting is there, and then plus R mode is practically unbearable on regular streets. It just firms up so much. So definitely more for the track or for those highway pulls, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, so far, I have to admit, this is really nice. It's really refined. Honda's done a terrific job here. I apologize if the lighting isn't so good. We ran out of light. But yeah, it's a really nice vehicle. So we're going to do a follow-up video on this, obviously, once he gets it broken in and, he's a little more familiar with it. We are heading into the winter months, so I don't know how much content we're going to be able to create around this over the winter months. However, rest assured, we're going to be doing some stuff on this and updates on it. And make sure to follow Evan. I'm going to post his information in his YouTube and his socials below. And he's going to be, doing a lot of content around this vehicle. And who knows, maybe in the spring, we might see a S2000 versus Type R battle. Maybe. Or maybe I'll have to buy an FK8 so that we can have an FK8/FL5 battle. And then I'll bring the S2000 for fun. Who knows? But anyways, thanks for watching. I apologize if, like I said again, if the lighting is crap. But, sometimes you just got to record and make do with what you have. All right, guys. Thanks again. We'll see you in the next one. All right, well, you can't see this very good. But anyway, we'll just demonstrate. The weirdest thing just happened. Watch this. Hey, Siri.
I'm glad you think it's funny. This on the web.
Wow. Jesus Christ.
I found this on the web for ha 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 ha.
That was hilarious.